Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the second feature film from director Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is known for directing the 2017 film Get Out, which was nominated for tons of awards. It won for Best Original Screenplay for that year. Um, I think Jordan Peele is now the first African American to win the Best Original Screenplay award at the Oscars, so that was a pretty big deal back when that happened. Jordan Peele is also known for Key and Peele from Comedy Central. He's done a lot of comedy projects over the years. I personally really liked him in Captain Underpants. He had a voice role in that movie, and he's going to have a voice role in Toy Story 4 later this year as well. So, very much a comedy involved man, somebody who's very involved with that genre. And whenever he directs a film like this film, like I'm talking about today, the film Us and Get Out, he seems to like to direct horror films that have comedy elements in them whenever he's directing a feature film, which so far has mostly been horror films. So horror films with comedy elements, I'm noticing whenever he's directing a film. But in this film, you guys, the film Us, like I said, it's the second film from Jordan Peele. It's about a family who goes to their vacation home one summer, and they want to go to the beach and they want to go to all this stuff that they normally don't get to do when they're back home. And while they're there, they go to this beach that the mother of the family kind of had a bad past with in the past. She had a bad experience there. She kind of wants to avoid this beach as much as she can due to this really traumatizing thing that happened to her as a kid that I'm not going to spoil in this review. And like in all my reviews, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's going to be a spoiler-free review. So I'm going to try to give as much context as I can without spoiling anything, like in almost all my movie reviews here on this channel. So they go to this beach. The mom's really not really okay with this. She really wants to go somewhere else, but the family insisted, and so they go there. And right away, they encounter people that really doesn't make the family very comfortable. They notice this man that's bleeding to death kind of on the beach, and so the son notices this. So they get back home later that night. The mom's kind of talking to the husband about something that happened at the beach in her past, and she really never brought it up, and why she didn't really want to go there to begin with, and all that kind of stuff. And so while all this is going on, the house encounters a power outage, and the family notices outside that they have evil clones slash evil doppelgangers of themselves outside in these red robes, and they have these sharp scissors in their hands, and they look like they're ready to do something bad to this family. So the family tries to outlive this. It's kind of a home invasion film at this point. They manage to outlive it, but they also find out that there's other evil versions of everybody else out in the world too, including a family they saw at the beach that they were reconnecting with, that they're friends with. Almost everybody they can think of who live out in this part of California, all of them have evil doppelgangers of themselves as well. And so throughout the course of this film, we try to figure out, where did all these evil doppelgangers come from? Why are they out to kind of kill everybody and kind of be that central version of each other? So if I had an evil doppelganger, that doppelganger would want to kill me and take over from what I'm doing in my part of my life right now and stuff like that. So throughout the course of the film, also we figure out where all these evil doppelgangers come from, why we center around this family, and why they're out to do all these horrible things to everybody, and that's over the course of the film Us. So sorry guys, I've been getting over a cold for the past couple days. I'm sorry if I sound horrible in this review, but for my positives and negatives of the film Us, Jordan Peele as a director has really proved once again that he can really direct suspense. He has clever ideas in his movies. I personally wasn't big on the film Get Out. I had a lot of problems with that movie, but I thought Us really kind of took all the things that I had problems with Get Out and really kind of focused on this family and how they're going to survive these doppelgangers and so forth. So I like the overall idea better than Get Out personally. So for my positives and negatives of this film, Jordan Peele as a director and his technical abilities as a director, I feel are getting better. I feel like this is had more of like a Stanley Kubrick kind of vibe, more of a David Cronenberg kind of vibe too. I felt, I had disturbing content while also kind of being really shot well on film, and using zoom ins and zoom outs very cleverly, and really just shooting the film. It really felt more like something you would have saw Kubrick do or David Cronenberg do as far as how to shoot a film, how to frame it. how to give us like little visual cues as to the stuff that we're about to see later in the movie and stuff like that. So I really think Jordan Peele is improving as a director. So hopefully for his third film, he gives us something even better at that point too. So sorry, guys. My throat's just killing me right now. But so for my other positive of this review, I thought the duality of the acting performances I thought was all very good too. I thought how Lupita Nyong'o handled her character and her evil doppelganger. I thought they were good separate versions of each other. You really felt like you were watching two different versions of that character and so forth. So the duality of the performances I thought were very good. So I thought that was one element of the film that really worked to its advantage really well, is having one version of a character and an evil doppelganger of somebody else, and really kind of making sure they feel very different. I also thought the doppelganger concept was very clever in this movie. I personally like the concept of this film better than Get Out. I thought it was a more clever film. So I thought the doppelganger concept worked very well in this movie, and I thought Jordan Peele did a good job with the concept too. I don't know 100% on this one, but I felt like this film was shot on film. It didn't feel like a digital film at all to me. So I like how they kind of had like more of a film grain kind of look, had more of a VHS 80s and 90s kind of horror vibe that they went with. So whether it's just the vibe of the film or they really did shoot it on film instead of digital, I thought it worked for this film, and it kind of homaged, I'm sure, other films that Jordan Peele took inspiration from, like The Omen and some of David Cronenberg's films, some of Alfred Hitchcock's films. Really kind of made it look like it was shot on film, and I thought that's a more appropriate feel for this film, since it's kind of homaging those kind of other films, I feel, too. So another thing I liked about this film, like I mentioned earlier, was the little visual cues we saw throughout the film. So the film is about doppelgangers and twins of like evil versions of each other and stuff, and how we're our own worst enemy and stuff like that. So we get little proverb numbers like 1111, like on the clocks, and on little cardboard things that people who are kind of were part of religious cults and stuff like that are showing us throughout the movie. We see things like rabbits and like a toy spider next to a real spider moving around in one scene on a table and stuff like that. So there were small little visual cues in this film that I thought were really clever that kind of fit with what the overall film is about, what we're about to get into, and the idea of a real thing and a doppelganger, and kind of how they clash with each other and stuff like that. So I thought all that was very well handled in this movie. I also like how this film really was a home invasion film with additional elements. So it's not just a home invasion film. For a while, you feel like you're just going to get a home invasion story at one point, but then it kind of moves on from that and it becomes something else, and we kind of see where the other doppelgangers are going and stuff like that. So I thought that aspect of the film worked really well. And so I really like how Jordan Peele really went for a film that was not just trying to be another home invasion film. It really tried to be something additional, be something more, and I give him a lot of credit for that. For my negatives of this movie, though, I thought there was a lot of logical errors in this film. So without spoiling anything, there's just a lot of moments in this film where you feel like, okay, so if that was available, and if this was available, or if this was explained, then a lot of the things in this film wouldn't work. So there's simple things like, okay, there's one scene where they find out that the police will take 14 minutes to get there. Okay, that's not the worst. I mean, it could be worse. Why do they not want the police to come? Why would they cancel that phone call? Sure, there's a scene later where they call them again and the phones are down, but why, you're under attack and everything. Why not let that wait happen? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, we'll just die. It's just like, I didn't really understand that part. It's just like, 14 minutes away. No, don't worry about us. We'll be fine. That part really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So it's just like, yeah, even if it takes 14 minutes, hey, you get the police there and you'll get out of this danger and so forth. So there's things like that in the film that really made zero sense to me when it played out. Also, without giving anything away, I thought they could have explained the science of the doppelgangers more. Yeah, they kind of explain where they came from and so forth, but I feel like you can't go that route without some type of science there. Just like how you can't write a story and have one character in America and then that same exact character in China the same time you're in America. It's just like it doesn't work that way. They're either here or they're there. They're here or they're there. It's just like you can't have them both place at the same time. So I thought there's little cheats like that in the story where I feel like it doesn't explain it because they don't really know what they're doing, kind of. So there's some science elements of the film that I thought didn't work as well as they could have. And like I said, yes, the police are 14 minutes away, but why would you cancel that? I mean, they're coming to help you. Yes, they are 14 minutes away, but they're coming to help you with this. So there's just really logical things that blow my mind like that. It's like, why would they cancel something like that? So something that really bothered me by the end of the movie. So I also thought some of the humor in the film was kind of awkward. I felt like they just kind of threw it in just to add levity to certain scenes, and as a result, it just kind of feels awkward. So I thought that could have been improved too. They also kind of briefly, and I do mean briefly when I say this, they kind of have hidden views on America in this film. Whether that is a good or a bad thing, I really can't tell you. Um, but there's scenes where like they kind of ask like where they came from and stuff. It's like, oh, we're Americans. It's like, okay. So there's like things with the doppelgangers like that that are they're trying to go a route I think that they just didn't have time for. So it's just one of those things where I wish Jordan Peele could have gone back to the script to be like, I want this film to be about this, this, and this, not and stay within those three things. Don't try to add on idea four, idea five, idea six, idea seven, because now the film's going to be over convoluted with ideas. And so I thought they could have condensed down what the film Us really was trying to be, because I thought there was moments where there was trying to be something more than what it could handle, I guess. And the film does technically have an ending, but what I didn't like is at the same time it doesn't really have an ending. At the same time, it kind of leaves it open to interpretation. That's fine if you have enough context, but I felt like they just didn't have enough context to really classify that final scene as an ending, really. So I'm going to give Us an 8.5 out of 10. I really like this film. There's good things about it. There's things I like in it. But like I said, there's a lot of really logical things that really aren't explained very well. Like, why would you not want the police to help you with a home invasion? I need more information on the science behind the doppelgangers. Some of the awkward humor just didn't feel very right. It just didn't feel like a good fit for the film sometimes. The hidden views on America thing I thought could have been handled on in a different movie, because when they try to bring it up here, it just really doesn't add to anything. It just kind of makes the film feel awkward again. And then once again, it's fine if you want to leave your ending open for interpretation, but we need as much context as possible. And I felt like we weren't given enough of that. So 8.5 out of 10 for me. Really liked the film Us. I like it better than Get Out personally. Can't wait to see what Jordan Peele does next. I know he has the Twilight Zone revival coming up soon too, so I wish him luck on the next project. I thought this film in particular was really good, and I do recommend the film Us.